Hello, my name is Master Sgt. Daytona Hill, and I'm with the 145th Airlift Wing Readiness Office. Today we are going to talk about and demonstrate how to don your MCU 2AP protective gas mask, how to drink from your MCU 2AP protective gas mask, how to process through transition points, and we're going to talk about and demonstrate the removal of contaminated plastic and the disposal of the same. Now we are going to don the MCU 2AP protective gas mask. We have received word that we are in alarm blue, MOP level 4. So what we're going to do first is we're going to pull out our gas mask out of the mask carrying case. We're going to close our eyes and hold our breath. Hold the outlet valve assembly with one hand and push your hair away from your hairline. We're going to place our chin in the chin cup tightly, push the mask onto your face, and pull the head harness over with your other hand, begin to use jerking movements to tighten your straps. We're going to ensure that the pad on the back of your head harness is centered at the high point of the rear of your head. We're going to shake our head from side to side and up and down to ensure that the mask is comfortable on your face. We're going to place our hand over our canister, breathe in until the eyelids deflect. Once the eyelids deflect, we have a good shield. Now we're going to open our eyes and resume normal breathing. If we have a hood on our gas mask, we're going to pull the hood over the gas mask and tighten the neck cord straps. Now is a good time for your buddy to step in and help out. There are two key points that I'd like to make here. One is that you definitely will need to use your buddy. Please use your buddy. They are the final point on making sure that everything is velcroed, tightened, and sealed. Also, for those of you that do not have a JS list suit, you will have a plastic hood on your mask. Buddies, please make sure that the plastic hood straps are velcroed and that the neck cord is tightened. Now we will demonstrate how to drink from your MCU 2AP gas mask. The individual needing to drink water will have to maintain positive control of their gas mask. How they do this is by holding with 2 or 3 fingers placed on the front of the voice emitter and hold it in place while the buddy assists them in getting the drinking tube coupling from the outlet valve assembly. If you are in a 16 cap, using your M291 kit. Using your M291 kit, you will need to decon your drinking tube coupling by blotting the top of it. And you will also need to decon your canteen cap, your M1 canteen cap. Your buddy will assist you in getting the cap, and you will have to decon it. Okay, now that you have decon in a contaminated area, your M291 now becomes contaminated, so you will have to dispose of it later. For this point, you just drop it on the ground. You can pick it up after you take the drink and replace everything. Now you would take your drinking tube coupling and insert it into your canteen cap. Push it all the way in until it snaps in. Then you will invert your canteen and suck on your drinking tube from the inside until you get a drink of water. After several swallows and your thirst has been satisfied, you will bring down your canteen back to the upright position. Disconnect the drinking tube from the canteen and blow into the drinking tube from the inside. to clear the water. Once this is done, you can replace your snap on the canteen cap, and you can replace the canteen back in your belt, and your buddy will assist you in replacing the drinking tube back into your outlet valve assembly. I'm standing at a transition control point known as a TCP. You will come across this when you need to transition from a contaminated area into a non-contaminated area. Here on the sign, it will say entering sector. It will tell you and what the mop level is for that sector. The transition control point, you will also have a foot trough and a hand trough. In the foot trough, you will have 5% bleach and water. Now we will demonstrate what the decon process is for transitioning from a contaminated area into a non-contaminated area. What the individuals will do is come to the transition control point and begin to decon their boots by stepping into a solution of 5% bleach. They will shuffle their feet around, and at this point they will also then step into water to rinse their boots. Once the deconning of their boots is done, they will also need to decon their hands. And at this point, they will come to the hand trough area and decon their hands in the 5% bleach solution. If you bend down, you need to be careful not to touch your knee to the ground. Then, once they have deconned with the bleach, they will rinse with the water. As stated earlier, you will need to do this using the buddy system. Once you've deconned your boots and your gloves, you will need to put on an M295 kit, and your buddy will decon your ground crew ensemble. One M295 will decon your entire ground crew ensemble. You will decon the front and have your buddy turn around and decon the back. As you are deconning with the M295, be sure to decon top and bottom of the ground crew ensemble. Once you have completed deconning, you will need to dispose of the M295 using the contaminated waste procedure. As your buddy is deconning you, keep in mind that once your buddy has deconned you, then you in turn have to turn around and decon your buddy also. Now the individual is ready to proceed into the uncontaminated area. Once the individual has deconned and is proceeding into the uncontaminated area, he is to remain in MOP 4 and inform others in that area that they need to adhere to the 10-foot rule. You have just seen a transition from a contaminated area into an uncontaminated area. Now we will demonstrate a transition from an uncontaminated area into a contaminated area. Keep in mind that at every transition control point, there are foot troughs and hand troughs with your M295. At this juncture, you do not need to use these because you are transitioning from uncontaminated into a contaminated area. Here we have two individuals that need to transition from Zone 1, Mop 2, into Zone 2, Mop 4. They need to don their gas mask and go into Mop 4 10 feet away from the transition control point. These individuals are going into a contaminated area to perform a task. Any equipment they carry with them has to be protected against any contaminants. Once they have completely gotten into Mop 4, they will walk into the contaminated area. Once there, they will complete their task, and to transition back into their area, they will need to perform decon at the transition control point. Here we will have two individuals demonstrate contaminated plastic removal and waste disposal. The size of the equipment determines how many individuals you can have for this task. One individual will be responsible for hand signals or command voice signals. What will happen is the group will get together and remove your anchors, place them to one side for disposal later. One individual will be placed on two corners. They will roll the plastic very slowly and very carefully to one side of the equipment. Keep in mind that this is contaminated plastic. They will roll the plastic to its smallest position and place it with the contaminated anchors. They will do the same process with the second sheet of plastic. Okay, now you need to place the plastic into the bag. Slowly and carefully. Then you will need to gather your anchors, what you use for anchors, and place those into the bag also. The first bag will need to be double bagged. Once this is accomplished, you need to tie the bag, secure the items inside the bags. Then you need to transport that to the contaminated waste control area. Once you have transported this material, you will need to decon yourselves using the M295 kit. You have seen a demonstration of donning your MCU 2AP protective gas mask. You've also seen drinking through your gas mask, transitioning through control points, and disposal of contaminated plastic and waste removal. We hope that you have gained some knowledge from these processes. We wish you good luck and be safe.
Hello, I'm Mark Mulligan with the 145th Medical Group, and we're here today to discuss the use of atropine and 2-PAM chloride, the proper procedures in issuing it to either yourself or a buddy, and this will help protect you in a chemical environment. At this point, you'll need to reach into your mask and pull out the Mark 1 kit, which includes an atropine injector and a 2-PAM chloride injector. When you pull them out, the atropine is the green and yellow cap injector, and the 2-PAM chloride is the gray and black tipped injector. Put them together in one hand and put them about eye level with the atropine closest to the individual. With the hand that is not in use, check your pocket along the thigh muscle to ensure there is nothing to get in the way of the injection site. If there's nothing to get into the way, remove the atropine injector. Pop the yellow cap from the injector. At this time, the injector is armed and ready to fire. Form a fist around the injector and place it along the hip. Push firmly and evenly against the cap of the auto injector, and at this time the needle will disengage into the thigh muscle, releasing the medication. Hold it for 10 seconds. You can do so by counting 1001, 1002, and so forth. At that time, remove the injector and place it between the small finger and the ring finger in the hand that's holding the other injector.
Okay.
During the IGX, we are using simulation clothespins for the use of atropine and 2-PAM chloride. But if this was real world and you were using real auto injectors, there would be a needle at the end of this injector. And after an individual has used the injector, it's important for medical people to know that. And the way that you represent that is to take the needle, put it into the ground crew ensemble pocket, push it into the material, bend it over so that the auto injector will lay flat on the ground crew ensemble. This allows medical personnel to know how many injectors have been used and what type of medical follow-up needs to be taken after that. Severe symptoms of neuroagent poisoning require buddy care. Buddy care is required when an airman becomes incapacitated and cannot administer the injection themselves. If you come up onto an individual that is incapacitated, pull out the Mark I kit that includes the atropine and 2-PAM chloride. Use the same procedures that you used in the self-administered. Pop the yellow cap, locate the thigh area, evenly inject the injector into the thigh, and hold for 10 seconds. Complete this process also with the 2-PAM chloride injector and hold for 10 seconds. After all 3 sets of auto injectors, once they have been given to the individual, place the auto injectors on the individual's chest with the needles pointing towards the head. Attach the injectors to the individual's ground crew ensemble through poking the needle through the material of the uniform and bending the hook. This will allow medical personnel to know how many auto injectors the individual received.